Okay, I'll start from the beginning again. Captain Richard Meulenberg, Meulenberg. Do you need me to recap the events from earlier?
Do you have new information about it?
Yeah.
So I have clarification of what happened with the officer and the suspect earlier.
Let's do that.
So we'll start kind of from there. What happened was the officer came to this location here. He was at this convenience store over my right shoulder here, and what happened is he found a gun that was dumped in the bathroom there. So he believed this one individual was involved with it, so he went and tried to get the individual to stop. As he walked with him, he was walking with him. The guy was not handcuffed at that time. As they were walking, video surveillance shows us that suspect actually had put a gun in his waistband, unbeknownst to the officer. So as they're walking, the suspect starts to pull the gun out. A fight starts then with the officer and the suspect over that gun. So they're basically both fighting over the weapon. During that fight, a round is discharged from the weapon, striking the officer. The suspect was not hit in that. The officer was struck in the hand, and he was still able to get his handcuffs on the suspect with the help of another officer who was out here. So the officer being injured now, and the suspect was sitting down. The secondary officer who was assisting ran up to go get a car to help rescue the officer who was injured. In that process, the suspect jumped up and took off running. So the focus of those two officers then was to make sure that the officer was safe and secure and got medical treatment, and then we started looking for the suspect. The officer, as we know, went to the hospital. He was discharged with non-life-threatening injuries, had an injury to his arm or hand area, and then we all surround the area here. After an extensive search, we finally were able to gain access to a locked area of the apartments behind me, and we found the suspect hiding inside of I believe the laundromat area. So we got in there, we took him in custody without any issue. He's being checked out by EMSA just in case. When we found him, he was still wearing handcuffs. Any questions at the time? Do you have the name of the suspect?
Yeah, we got that. So,
And of those pictures that you shared, is that him?
It is him.
Okay.
is that the body cam of him?
That is a still image from the body cam, yes.
He's up behind his back.
That's correct. He took off, yeah, so the officer was injured. When he was injured, he then still handcuffed the suspect. So the gun wasn't discharged while he was handcuffed. The gun was discharged, and then they still were able to get him handcuffed. Does that make sense?
Yes. So he found the gun in the bathroom?
Correct. So what happened was some individuals basically dumped the gun into the bathroom. So the officer recovered that gun, because we do have two guns we recovered. He recovered that gun, but unbeknownst to the officer, the suspect had another gun, which is seen on video of him putting the gun in his waistband.
And that's the one that went off? And
That's the one that went off.
Okay.
So the officer found the gun in the bathroom, came outside, and was with these suspects, and they had an extra one.
Correct.
And then
They
he
fought
fights
over the
him
gun.
for it.
Correct. So they're both on the ground at one point fighting for this weapon. We've got video surveillance showing this. And then during that fight, while they both presumably have their hands on the gun, it discharges.
What was the original call?
I don't know. It was a head check from what we understand. I don't know if someone called us or if it was a self-initiated head check.
How important was it for those officers to really focus on the officer's situation over getting him?
Well, at the time we've got an officer who's injured and another one who can render aid. So obviously, preserving life is the most important thing. The other person was, handcuffed, and had he been injured and stuck around, we would have rendered aid to him as well. So the one officer was transported to a hospital, and the other suspect took off running. So then we quickly swarmed the area. It just took us a while to get into this particular location and find him. We were correct in the assumption that he was in this kind of half square mile area. It just took us a while to find him.
What kind of charges?
He's an aggravated assault on an officer. He was here, he resisted. Probably has some resisting arrest as well. But since his actions led to the fact that the officer got shot, he was going to get those charges.
Both firearms recovered.
That's correct. Yes. Well, one was definitely his, the one that was on his person. The other one, I couldn't tell you for sure that they're his, but I know that the one that on his person was his. We don't know if it's stolen, but it was on his person.
And the suspect was not shot.
Correct.
What can you say about the work of the officers? I mean, I was talking to some officers over there who were on their north side, Charlie Squad. They rushed down here. I mean, everybody came.
Sure.
And
This is one of those things where, we spend a lot of time taking reports. That's our job. We take reports of things, but sometimes when it really matters, we gotta get out here to help, find someone who's dangerous, come out here and protect the community, protect the officers. We do it, and that's what happens. We come from all over the city to come out here and make sure that we can do our job well. And today we did our job well. We've got someone in custody. He's uninjured. We have an officer who's luckily gonna walk away from this, and everybody's gonna go home.
What kind of caliber was it?
Don't know.
And is the officer been discharged?
From the hospital, I believe so, yes.
Is there a tip that led to the report process?
Nope, it just took a while for us to get into that location, and so as soon as we got into that particular location, we found him.
And he was just hiding out.
Yep.
Surrender peacefully.
Yep. Yep. So we called him out, we arrested him. Fortunately, he was already handcuffed, so we just brought him up to have him just take a look at him, and they're doing that right now. And we'll book him in here shortly.
Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, he lives at the Elephant Man. Yep. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, so what is the update on that?
So basically, we were out there. It just activated our special operations team. As we did that, the suspect came out there, and we were able to arrest him. Yeah, that guy, no incident. We arrested that guy. So I don't think we got it. We have to get it. I don't either. Hopefully, Andre does. If you don't have Andre's number, we can get it.
What time did this incident start?
Which one?
This one right here.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like 4. I think I got called out here 4:50-ish, but then I think it started probably